Long-time lurker, first-time poster. My friends would probably take sides, and I'm not even 100% sure if I'm just being paranoid about everything. So I, male 34, have been married to my wife Crystal, female 32, for 7 years now. We have a daughter, Lily 4, who is basically our whole world. Crystal and I have always been on the same page about parenting stuff. We've had our ups and downs like any couple, I guess, but nothing major. I work as a software engineer with brutal hours sometimes. Crystal has always been understanding about it because it's how we afford our house and Lily's preschool. Anyway, the actual issue started about 3 months ago when my younger brother Brad, male, 30, moved back to town after his divorce. His ex cheated on him with her boss and took him for everything. Brad was basically broke and needed a place to stay, so I offered our guest bedroom. I honestly thought it would be for like a few weeks while he got back on his feet. Quick backstory. Me and Brad have always had this complicated relationship. Growing up, he was definitely our parents' favorite. He's the fun one. I was always the responsible one. We're still close, but there's always been this, this thing between us. Like when he borrowed $3,000 from me a few years back and has only paid back like $800 of it. So Brad moves in, and at first everything seems fine. Lily loves having her uncle around. Crystal seemed to really enjoy having him around too, which honestly kind of surprised me because she's usually pretty private. But she and Brad were getting along great, laughing at the same jokes, watching the same shows when I was working late. Brad even started offering to watch Lily so Crystal and I could have date nights. Oh, I should probably mention, we have these nanny cams set up in the living room, kitchen, and playroom. We got them like a year ago when we started using babysitters more regularly. Both Crystal and I have the app on our phones, but we honestly almost never check the footage anymore. The first time I noticed something weird was maybe a month after Brad moved in. I decided to surprise everyone by coming home early and bringing takeout from this Thai place Crystal loves. As I was putting my key in the door, I could hear Crystal laughing really loud from inside. Like the kind of laugh she usually only does when she's had a couple glasses of wine. When I walked in, Crystal and Brad were sitting on the couch together watching something on her iPad. They were sitting, closer than you'd normally sit. Not like cuddling or anything crazy, but definitely in each other's space. The second I walked in, Brad jumped up super awkwardly and moved to the armchair across the room. Crystal's smile basically disappeared when she saw me. She seemed surprised I was home early and not in a good way. I told them I wanted to surprise them with dinner and showed the takeout bags I brought. Crystal looked flustered and said something about it being nice in this weird tone. Then Brad suddenly said he was leaving to meet some friends downtown, even though he was in sweatpants and clearly settled in for the night. Crystal started to question what he was saying, but stopped mid-sentence. Brad cut her off, claiming he almost forgot about meeting his friends. And there was this look between them, just for a second. I don't even know how to describe it, but it made my stomach feel weird. After that night, I started noticing other little things. Crystal started working late way more often, which is weird because her marketing job almost never requires overtime. She's always home by 5:30 to relieve the nanny, but suddenly she's texting me saying she'll be home at 7 or 8 because of client meetings or whatever. She also changed her phone password. We've always known each other's passwords, not because we snoop, but just because we've never had anything to hide. We've had the same passwords for years, and then suddenly she changed hers. When I asked about it, she said something about work security protocols, which maybe, but it seemed off. And Brad is suddenly making all these comments about Crystal. Like Crystal looks really nice today, or they'll laugh about some joke I wasn't around for. And he started bailing on our regular brother hangouts, saying he's tired or has other plans. Last week, I ran into my buddy Kyle at the grocery store, and he mentioned seeing Crystal and Brad having lunch together at this restaurant like 30 minutes from our house. Neither of them ever mentioned going to lunch together. When I casually mentioned at dinner that Kyle saw them at Marcello's, they both got super weird. Brad claimed they just grabbed a quick bite while running errands but couldn't look me in the eye. Crystal's been really irritable with me lately too. I thought it was just work stress or something, but now I'm wondering if there's more to it. And Brad keeps avoiding hanging out with just me, which never happened before. I don't know if I'm just being paranoid or if something is actually happening between my wife and my brother right under my nose. Like, am I crazy for even thinking this? They wouldn't do that to me, right? But then I remember how Brad's ex cheated on him, and I wonder if this is some weird karma thing where now he's the cheater? Or maybe I'm just working too much and creating problems in my head. Would it be insane to check the nanny cam footage from when I'm not home? I've literally never done that before because I've always trusted Crystal completely, but something just feels off and I can't shake it. Sorry for the super long post. I'm sitting in my car in the parking garage at work typing this because I don't even want to go home right now. I guess I just needed to get this off my chest. Edit. Someone asked if Brad is actively looking for his own place. He says he is, but I haven't seen any actual evidence of apartment hunting. When I ask about it, he always has some excuse about the rental market being terrible or needing to save up more for a deposit. Crystal never seems to mind extending his stay though. Edit 2. A lot of people are asking why I haven't checked the nanny cam footage yet. Honestly, I'm scared of what I might see. Like, what if I'm right? My whole life would basically implode. And what if I'm wrong and I've been thinking horrible things about my wife and brother for no reason? I'd feel like the worst person ever. But yeah, I guess I probably need to look. Edit 3. To answer the questions about Crystal's behavior before Brad moved in, no, she never gave me any reason not to trust her. We had a pretty solid marriage. Not perfect, whose is, but good. We still had regular date nights. Our sex life was decent, even with a 4-year-old in the house. Nothing that would make me think she was unhappy or looking elsewhere. That's part of why this is so confusing. Now for the first update. First of all, thank you guys so much for all the comments and advice on my last post. It's been about a week since my last post, and I've been watching Crystal and Brad more closely. The working late excuses from Crystal have basically multiplied. Now she's suddenly having emergency client meetings, like 2 to 3 times a week. She's literally never had emergency anything in her 5 years at this company. And she's also started having these girls' nights that never happened with any kind of regularity before. Like, she'd go out with friends maybe once a month before, and now it's like weekly. I found this receipt in her purse a few days ago. I wasn't snooping, I swear. I was looking for the car insurance card because I got pulled over for a broken taillight. The receipt was from this really nice restaurant downtown that we've only been to like twice for anniversaries because it's expensive as hell. But the date on it was from a night she told me she was working late. So that was fun to discover. Brad has also been conveniently absent on a lot of the same evenings. He's always apartment hunting or networking for jobs or whatever, but like, he never seems to actually make any progress. He hasn't gone on a single actual apartment tour that I know of, and he's supposedly been job hunting for months, but can't even get an interview. He worked in sales before his divorce, so it's not like he has some super specialized skill set that's hard to find jobs for. I tried to casually verify some of these absences. Like one night when Crystal texted she'd be home late because of work, I texted Brad asking if I could borrow his phone charger. This was at like 9 p.m. He wrote back that he was at a coffee shop applying for jobs at 9 p.m. What coffee shop is even open that late on a Tuesday? And who the hell applies for jobs at 9 p.m.? Oh, and my mom Joelle called the other day to talk about Thanksgiving plans. She was going on and on about how excited she was to have both her sons and families together since Brad missed last year's gathering because of his divorce stuff. The whole time I'm just sitting there thinking about Brad and my wife, while my mom is talking about turkey assignments. Fun times. So after weeks of all this building up and driving me insane, I finally did it. I checked the nanny cam footage from times when I wasn't home. I honestly felt sick doing it, like I was doing something wrong. But then I remembered all the lying and sneaking around and figured the trust was already pretty damaged. And yeah, I found what I was afraid of. There was footage from last Tuesday, a day when Lily was at preschool and I was at work. Crystal and Brad come into the living room together. They're laughing about something, and then suddenly they're kissing. Like really kissing. Not a friendly peck or something I could explain away. Full-on passionate making out. Then they move to the couch and start undressing each other, and I couldn't watch the whole thing. I just couldn't. But I went through more footage and found at least 6 other times this happened over the past month. 6 times that I know of. In my fucking living room. On the couch where we watch movies as a family, where I read bedtime stories to Lily. I confronted Crystal last night after Lily was asleep. I tried to be calm about it. I asked her if there was anything she wanted to tell me about her relationship with Brad. She looked surprised and asked what I meant. I told her I had reason to believe she'd been unfaithful. She actually laughed, like a nervous little laugh, and asked if I'd been watching too many spy movies. I mentioned I had evidence, but didn't say anything about the nanny cam specifically. She immediately got defensive and accused me of going through her phone. I told her I didn't need her phone to know what was happening. Then she switched tactics and started saying I was being paranoid and that I needed therapy. When I directly asked if she was sleeping with Brad, she looked genuinely shocked and called the idea disgusting because he's my brother. I just stared at her. I couldn't believe how committed she was to lying straight to my face. She eventually stormed off saying she wouldn't even dignify my accusation with a response. I confronted Brad too, separately. His reaction was basically the same. Denied everything, acted all offended and hurt that I would even suggest such a thing. He kept saying I was just stressed from work and creating problems in my head. He even had the audacity to remind me how much he helps with Lily and chores around the house. Like I should be thanking him while he's sleeping with my wife behind my back. The craziest part is how convincing they both were. If I didn't have literal video evidence, I might have started to question myself. I didn't tell either of them about the nanny cam footage yet, partly because I'm still processing all this myself, and partly because, I don't know, I guess I wanted to see how far they'd take the lies. And now Thanksgiving is coming up in a few days. This huge family dinner at my parents' house with like 30+ extended family members. Last night, Lily innocently asked if Uncle Brad will sit next to me at Thanksgiving, while Crystal just stood there pretending everything was normal. I wanted to scream. How can they just keep acting like everything's normal while they're destroying my family? I consulted with a divorce attorney yesterday. He advised me to secure all the evidence and consider my approach carefully. I've been copying the footage to a secure cloud account. I'm planning to compile some key moments from the nanny cam videos to show both Crystal and Brad that I know the truth. But I'm torn about how to handle it. Do I confront them privately before Thanksgiving? Or do I expose them at Thanksgiving in front of the whole family? Part of me wants everyone to know what they've done, but I also worry about how that would affect Lily. I still can't believe this is happening. My wife and my brother, the two people I should have been able to trust most in the world. Edit. To those asking why I didn't immediately kick them both out, my daughter Lily loves them both, and I'm trying to figure out how to handle this with minimal trauma to her. And yes, I've already saved multiple copies of the footage in different places. Edit 2. Several people have asked about Crystal's phone. No, I haven't tried to access it since she changed the password. At this point, I don't even need to. The nanny cam footage is more than enough evidence, and honestly, I don't think I could handle seeing their texts to each other anyway. Now for the second update. I exposed my wife and brother at Thanksgiving, and now everything's a complete disaster. Sorry for taking so long to update. These past few days have been the worst time of my life. It's hard to put into words what I've been going through. After my last post, both Crystal and Brad just kept acting like nothing was happening. Crystal was excited about Thanksgiving, baking pies, and talking about sides we should bring. Brad was still playing helpful during the day, but was really careful to never be alone with me. He'd leave a room if everyone else did. Oh, and I found one of Crystal's earrings in the guest room sofa where Brad sleeps. They couldn't even keep their hookups to one room. They were earrings I got her for our anniversary last year. After I confronted them and they both completely lied to me, I spent a night going through all the nanny cam footage. I made a compilation video showing them kissing and other stuff on 6 different occasions. I edited out anything super explicit, but left in enough that there was no doubt what was happening. I kept going back and forth about how to handle everything. Some of you said I should confront them privately with the evidence, but the way they lied so convincingly, I couldn't let them twist things. They'd been making me feel crazy for weeks. Plus, I knew Crystal would try to make me look like the bad guy somehow. So Thanksgiving morning comes, and I'm just going through the motions, helping Lily get dressed while Crystal's making her pumpkin cheesecake. Brad was sleeping in. I told Crystal I needed to run to the office but would meet them at my parents' place. She seemed annoyed but said fine. She and Brad would take Lily and head over without me. I didn't go to the office. At 11:30 a.m., when I knew everyone would be arriving at my parents' house, I took the video I'd made and attached it to a message in our family group chat. This chat includes my parents, all my siblings, Crystal, Brad, and about 15 extended family members. I wrote, "I'm sorry to ruin Thanksgiving, but I won't be attending. This video shows why. Crystal and Brad have been having an affair in our home while I'm at work and Lily is at preschool. They've both repeatedly lied to my face about it. I need some time alone." Then I hit send and turned off my phone. I ordered room service and tried to watch basketball but couldn't focus. I kept imagining what was happening at my parents' house. I turned my phone back on around 7 p.m. and it exploded with notifications. 29 missed calls, 10 from Crystal, 7 from my mom, 5 from my dad, 3 from Brad, and the rest from family members. My cousin Pete called me right away. He filled me in on what happened. Everyone's phones buzzed at the same time with my message. My dad watched the video first and knocked over his chair standing up. My mom started crying. Crystal was in the kitchen when she checked her phone and collapsed into a chair. Brad tried to leave, but my Uncle Travis blocked the door and confronted him. Crystal locked herself in the bathroom while Brad eventually pushed past everyone and left. Thanksgiving dinner was abandoned. My aunts took Lily upstairs to play so she wouldn't see adults freaking out. I went home late that night. Crystal was sitting in her car in the driveway because I'd changed the smart lock code. When she saw me pull up, she jumped out crying. The confrontation was intense. She admitted to everything right away. She tried to blame everything on Brad, saying he started it all. She kept saying it just happened and begging for forgiveness. I told her our marriage was over. There was no coming back from this. That's when she switched between apologizing and getting angry at me for humiliating her in front of everyone. She said sending the video was cruel and would hurt Lily. I pointed out that their actions would hurt Lily. Then she threatened to fight for full custody. I told her I'd already talked to a divorce attorney and that she could stay with her friend Sarah until we made arrangements for Lily. She completely broke down then, like full-on crying when she realized this wasn't something she could just apologize for. Brad went to our cousin's place in Michigan. He's been sending me texts about how he was in a bad place after his divorce, and it didn't mean anything and how sorry he is. I haven't responded. I don't know if I'll ever speak to him again. My parents are upset but supportive. My mom said she wishes I hadn't shown everyone so publicly, but understands why I did it. Most of the family has taken my side. Only Brad's friend Cody tried defending him, but everyone shut him down. The hardest part was explaining to Lily why Mommy was staying at Aunt Sarah's house and why Uncle Brad went away. I just said that Mommy and Daddy need some time apart and that Uncle Brad had to go home. She keeps asking when they're coming back. I've filed for divorce already. My attorney thinks I'll get primary custody, especially with evidence showing they were having sex in our home while Lily could have walked in. Crystal keeps texting asking if we can work this out and go to counseling, but I can't. Every time I close my eyes, I see those videos. I've scheduled therapy for next week. My boss gave me some time off. I'm just trying to create stability for Lily right now. Sometimes I wonder if I should have handled things differently. Maybe exposing them publicly wasn't best for Lily. But after weeks of lies, I couldn't stand the thought of them making me look like the bad guy. Thanks to everyone here for the support and advice through this nightmare.